This is Kasozi Mlindwa, and this is my response to module 4 discussion. I just want to address myself on the issue of the kind of leader I am and what I can be. So just to take it from the top, I wouldn't so much engage on what leadership is, because we possibly know the length of what that can be. But there are different kinds of leadership. I just want to point out, including among others, transactional leadership, transformational leadership, servant leadership, autocratic, democratic leadership, bureaucratic or hierarchical. There's the laissez-faire, and among others, I think there's also charismatic leadership, and all have their pros and cons, or they have the advantages and disadvantages to each of them, as has been highlighted by several scholars. Talking of scholars, James McGregory Barnes in 1978, part of his work, identified the two mostly referred to leadership types as transactional and transformational leadership. And among those, so the latter was formerly called transforming leadership. So transforming leadership, just to describe the kind of leader I view myself as, I would want to most associate with transformational or transforming leadership. And he describes it, among other definitions that have been given, as being leadership that involves a leader, and this is my own take, deliberately engaging with their followers to identify a change needed, and then together bringing about that required shift. And the leader does this through inspiring, empowering, and developing leadership abilities in those they lead to themselves become change agents. Now, as opposed to transactional leadership, transformational leadership is more holistic. It's not me coming in and helping you reach a particular target or obtaining a particular result or goal, but I'm interested in the whole shift in, say, an organization's performance, or a shift in tradition and culture of how an organization has been doing things, and to see that carried on in the leadership that follows after, or through the ranks to the lowest of them. So that distinction is very important. As part of my work, I mainly engage with communities in terms of empowering just the local people in seeing how to better their lifestyles, improve their livelihoods, identify income generating activities, improve their communities in terms of sensitization and creating awareness. And so for me, as a reflection of the skills I've accumulated over the years, is that ability to just go into the communities and engage them from their very positions or from their point of view of things, and just begin to start adding up, to add to them maybe information, insight, resources, connecting them to people who can help them. And to do this regularly, and to do this, to walk, just generally walk with the different groups I work with, to see them improve over time, and not just having come in and, 1 month's program, or a workshop or a week's workshop. No, but being able to sustain that over time, and to be able to identify what they are really in need of, and see how to work around improving that. How do I compare the kind of leadership to the one I want to become? So Bernard Bass, in the 1980s, further develops the transformational leadership by identifying 4 other elements to transformational leadership, to include idealized influence, intellectual stimulation, inspirational motivation, and individualized consideration. Now, each of these breaks down further. But the thing is, how do I then develop these skills in myself? I could talk of intellectual stimulation, just being able to go and awaken the people I work with to begin thinking. What is in our hands to improve ourselves? What is in our ability in coming together as members of a group, and say collecting our finances and small microfinance arrangements, and being able to start up small enterprises for us? Just that intellectual stimulation in them. The other would be the inspirational motivation, just being able to demonstrate to them that this is possible, and having seen it in other places that they too can do it, and to regularly be there to walk that journey with them. And maybe for the individualized consideration, the mere fact that I personally engage with small groups of people, but at any one point, when I'm in these meetings, I can point a finger to each of the people that are in those meetings, and be able to identify them, and on a personal basis, and just to relate with them can be very transformational, in that I am encouraging them that you not only do you matter, but those things that you're concerned with are able to change. You're able to do something about them. And then the other is the idealized influence, in that I'm not only preaching, I am not only talking to them about these things, but that through our regular conduct they are able to tell that these values that we speak about, and the things that we are talking about, are things that I personally live out. So maybe just to improve in those areas would really be something I would want to work more on, in terms of comparing to what I would want to become. that is to become more of a transformational leader. I thank you.